Hello, I'm Sam from Cultaholic.com and this is Graded for NXT and 205 Live, where I take a look at each show, segment by segment, and award each little bit a grade from A+ to F. So without any further ado, there's a lot going on this week, without any further ado, hit the intro. We kick things off on 205 Live. Tonight is obviously the final of the tournament to determine the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. And we go straight to ringside where Mike Kanellis' music started playing. So out come Maria and Mike and they walk down to the ring. Maria gets on the mic. She welcomes everybody to 205 Live and she wants them all tonight to get behind her husband, Mike Kanellis, the greatest wrestler in the world. The crowd are less than enthusiastic about this, so she calls them lazy and disrespectful. She draws a comparison between the crowd and Drake Maverick, who threatened her husband's job if he doesn't win his match tonight. She calls to find out who this mystery opponent is that Drake Maverick set up, so cue Akira Tozawa's music. Mike Kanellis, you are screwed. Tozawa starts things off in control, but Mike is very, very quick to anger. He's taking it very seriously that he needs to win this match, but he's also showboating a little bit. He'll put Tozawa in the corner and he'll step back and he'll open himself up like, come on, come get it. Tozawa is eventually able to drive Mike to the outside. He goes for a dive, but Mike gets in the ring so quickly because he's taking it so seriously, he plants him with a super kick. No dive for you, Mr. Tozawa. And Mike, as we're going to see a lot throughout this match, decides that the best way to win is to wear Tozawa down, so he takes him to the mat and keeps him under control. Mike keeps going for pin attempts and he is able to keep him grounded for a great deal of time, but eventually Tozawa manages to get out. He hits a shining wizard, he hits a missile drop kick, he even locks in the octopus, but he can't put Mike away. The guys appear to be fairly evenly matched, but as I said, Mike's taking it very seriously. Whenever Tozawa seems to sort of get away, he immediately grabs him, plants him, and keeps trying to cover him. He even manages to take him to the second rope and plant him with a massive Michinoku driver, and it looks like it should have put him away, but Tozawa kicks out, and this is where things sort of start to unravel for Mike. When Tozawa kicks out, Mike loses it. He's just screaming at the referee, he's going wild, he's just walking around the ring, letting all of his anger show, and Maria is on the outside trying to calm him down. She keeps shouting at him to come over and just calm down, focus. So he ends up getting all zen and focused and he goes back to Tozawa, grabs him, starts laying in the elbows, even manages to go for his finish, but Tozawa cuts him off and hits him with a spinning back kick. So with Tozawa being in control, he drags Mike to the corner and decides, I'm gonna hit my senton, but then Maria jumps up and she distracts him. This gives Mike enough time to crawl over to the other corner, at which point Tozawa sees this, looks at Maria, shakes his head, goes and hits his senton from the other corner. The only problem is when he does hit the senton, he lands on Mike's knees. Mike manages to get his knees up, he grabs Tozawa, plants him with his finish, and picks up the 3. Mike Kanellis' job is safe. Now, unfortunately, I'm only going to give this one a C, as it didn't really stand out, although I'm liking seeing Mike as a more focused, driven character. He's even shaven off his hair, he looks like so serious now, super serious, but Maria obviously still had to help him, so I'm quite excited to see how long this is going to last. We then cut backstage and Cedric Alexander's being interviewed, and he says, you know, he's going to win tonight. But then Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy turn up together, and I like this because it ties back to the whole idea of their friendship. They trained together, all the stuff they established when Nese was Murphy's backup plan. Nese says that no, he's going to win the match, and then Cedric says, well, you know, you're just his sidekick, what do you matter? And then Cedric plants the seeds of doubt inside Murphy's head. You know, he asks him, what's going to happen when you two have to come to blows? Murphy then just sort of stands there and looks a little bit worried, and then we go back to the ring for tonight's main event, Cedric Alexander versus Tony Nese. Both men start this one by tying each other in knots, and it's just reversal after reversal. Nobody's really in out and out control. But eventually Cedric is able to keep Nese grounded, working over his head and neck and driving him into the mat. Nese eventually gets free and he tries for a springboard moonsault, but he misses, landing flat on his face and almost eating a pin for his troubles. And because of this, and because of sort of looking like a fool for flipping over onto his own head, Nese starts to get a little bit aggressive. He manages to take Cedric over to the ropes. He sort of ties him up in the ropes for a bit, stomps him, and then manages to boot him through the ropes to the outside. Once Cedric finally gets back in the ring though, he seems a little bit off his game. He seems a little bit flustered and he succumbs to Nese's offense, eating a big Northern Lights suplex. He is eventually able to hit Nese with a beautiful picture-perfect neuralizer and a springboard flatliner, but Nese kicks out, although Cedric looks like he's starting to get on the front foot. Just when Cedric seems to think he's got it all tied up, he goes for a lumbar check, Nese reverses it and hits a Michinoku driver. Tony is then able to connect with a springboard moonsault and almost picks up the 3. Both men are now exhausted and desperate, and Cedric seems to be losing a bit of his cool. He's losing control of himself. He's getting very, very angry with Nese. And then there's this great double down spot where both men are up on the top rope and they're just pummeling each other back and forth, and eventually they both fall at the same time to respective corners on the outside area, and they just lie there. They're getting counted out, and it gets to 9.99999, and they manage to roll themselves back in the ring. It was really, really tense. And then we enter one of those sort of strike phases of the match, but this one shows us how evenly matched both guys are. They are both hitting, the same strikes, they go for the same kicks, and eventually both legs get caught up when they both go for a super kick. A little bit after this, Nese is able to hit a massive dive, and then he gets Cedric back in the ring, hits his 450, but Cedric will not die. And then this is where I thought the match was going to end, because Cedric is about to eat a running Nese, but he reverses it into a Spanish fly, hits the lumbar check, and then everybody thinks it's over. The crowd's going wild, and Nese kicks out and it just blows the roof off the building. Obviously, Cedric can't quite believe it. Nese is then able to hit the running Nese, and he picks up the 3, which means Tony Nese is going to WrestleMania to face his best mate in the whole world, Buddy Murphy. There's a really nice moment after the match. Both men shake hands, and then Buddy Murphy's bloody music hits, doesn't it? He comes down, he's got the belt, he shakes Tony's hand, he points at the WrestleMania sign, and while Tony's turned around, he nails him in the face with a high knee and stands over his prone body. I'm going to give this match an A. I thought it was brilliantly paced, very good storytelling, and it showcased Nese's abilities as a top star in 205 Live. And he was in the ring with Cedric Alexander, who never puts on a disappointing match. And so I'm quite curious to see where all of this is going to end up. And what does it mean for Cedric if he's now sort of been relegated? Is he going to be the first competitor if Nese wins the belt? And in terms of an overall grade for 205 Live this week, I'm going to give it a B. I was a little bit disappointed by the Kanellis Tozawa match, but I think the main event really pulled it out of the bag. I honestly can't wait to see Nese versus Murphy, and I think it's going to be such a show stealer of a match on that WrestleMania card. But anyway, on to NXT. So NXT this week opens with Triple Bloody H, but he's using the King of Kings theme, and it sort of ruined the entire moment. Nobody likes that theme. Stop using it. Triple H has the NXT Championship in his hands, and you can tell by his demeanor he's come out to tell us some really crap news. He tells us that in an NXT ring, dreams can become reality. For some people, they come here and it's instant, and for some people, it can take years and years of driving aimlessly around waiting to get the call. But he says the reality of it is that for every single man or woman who steps into that ring, the dream can end at any time. He said he was scheduled to come here tonight to announce the main event of TakeOver as Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, but reality has made that match an impossibility. Reality has dictated that Tommaso Ciampa has had to relinquish his NXT title due to his neck surgery. Triple H says that Johnny Gargano will still be in the main event of TakeOver, but that his opponent will be determined tonight in a fatal 5-way match. And the men in that match are Aleister Black, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Matt Riddle, and the Velveteen Dream. Each one of those 5 men has the opportunity to go to TakeOver, defeat Johnny Gargano, and walk out the NXT champion. He also says that the match at TakeOver needs to be decisive, and so instead of a normal match, it's going to be 2 out of 3 falls. He then walks to the back, sort of awkwardly puts the belt in front of Mauro while Mauro's talking to us from commentary. It's a little bit weird, but mic drop, out he goes. I don't really have any other option but to give this promo an A, because when you've got to deliver bad news and when you need a really strong promo, I imagine Triple H is just the man for the job. He comes out, everybody gets hyped, he's made the best of a bad situation and got the crowd excited despite all of the disappointment. So A. Well done, Trips. We then cut backstage and Kathy Kelly is walking around backstage asking anybody she can find on the NXT roster who they think is going to win tonight's main event. And the first person she bumps into is Kona Reeves, who asks if she was hitting on him and then says like, nah, you know, I'm not in the match. So after Kona Reeves walks off after going, it ain't gonna be the finest, out come the Forgotten Sons from the exact same locker room. The Sons are actually quite annoyed with Kathy because she's asked them about a match tonight that doesn't include any of them, and they're like, you know, you should be asking us about next week's main event, which does feature us. But they did say that they would prefer either Black or Ricochet to win the match because it means that they'll be distracted by a bigger gold. We then cut to a package about Tommaso Ciampa's surgery. It's super serious, so I'm not gonna grade it. It just proves how tough the guy is. He has a compressed spinal cord. They need to operate on it, otherwise he could be paralyzed from like even the faintest like bump to the back of the neck. The surgeon says he's had 3 surgeries back to back to back, which proves his toughness. We then cut back to Kathy Kelly, who has found Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. She asks them about tonight's main event and they're like super excited about it. Then she mentions about TakeOver and they're like, you know, we are really good friends, but nothing's gonna come between our friendship. If we do have to fight, we have to fight, but may the best woman win. And then they're cut off by Bianca Belair. Belair interrupts and says, you shouldn't even be in the match. If Shayna hadn't come down, you know, none of this would have been happening. That's my belt. It's my opportunity, and I'm walking out of there the champion. And then we go back to the ring for tonight's main event, which is Adam Cole versus Ricochet versus Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle for the chance to face Johnny Gargano at TakeOver in the main event for the vacant NXT World Championship. And this match was hectic as hell. Black and Dream are showcased first, with Black able to keep Dream on his toes until he's dragged out of the ring by Adam Cole. Ricochet then takes it to Dream, tosses him out of the ring, and then Riddle pops up and just wipes him out. And this is just generally the theme of the match. Pure, unbridled chaos, just as a fatal 5-way should be. There's a really nice little moment where Ricochet and Black are squaring up and the crowd are really heating up and going wild. They look at each other, they sort of pause because, you know, they're tag team partners. They shake hands, they do the nod of, you know, like may the better man win. And before they can even do anything, Adam Cole comes in and jumps the pair of them. Cole fills the role of opportunist perfectly in this match, but Dream is able to hit him with an axe handle on the outside before Dream gets back in the ring and, you know, gets wiped out again by Matt Riddle. And Riddle proves to be the danger man of the piece. You know, you never know when he's going to pop up, but when he does, you know you need to stop him, whatever he's doing, very quickly, because he's either going to knock somebody out or he's going to make him tap. It is interesting though, because in a storyline sense, Ricochet seems to be the biggest threat to everybody in the ring because they are all focusing on keeping him grounded. They don't want him getting anywhere near those ropes. The crowd are then white hot for a segment which just saw Cole and Riddle trading blows. Riddle is able to get Cole into the bro mission, and just as it's getting really, really nasty, Dream manages to break it up. And there was also a nice little point around here where Cole just stamped on Riddle's bare foot, which I just loved it. I thought it was really, really nice. And then we enter a phase of the match where all 5 men are in the ring. They're all hitting stuff on each other, they're all trading blows, and it all culminates in all 5 men being down. Ricochet, however, doesn't seem to be that knackered. He gets up and he starts to climb the top rope, but Cole cuts him off. Then Dream joins in, then Black joins in, and you know, we've got a Tower of Doom. Once it's all clear, we then focus on Ricochet and Cole in the ring. Ricochet seems to really be finding his feet until Cole hits him with a super kick and then hits him with another super kick to the back of the head, and that one looked nasty. He's not stunned for long though, because he hits Cole with a reverse Rana and is able to drive him to the outside before hitting a dive. Now that the ring's clear, Dream and Riddle get in there and they're going blow for blow, submission for submission, until Dream gets caught in the bro mission. And just as Dream looks like he's struggling and he's about to pass out a tap, Cole grabs the referee's leg, drags him out of the ring, and Riddle obviously then has to break the hold. Riddle gets to his feet and he's looking at the referee. Black then pops up, hits him with a black mass. Dream then gets in and hits the Dream Valley driver on Black, and then Ricochet manages to top rope Rana Dream on the outside to Cole and Black. And then Ricochet has the opportunity. Riddle's down, he hits a shooting star press, he almost has the pin until Cole breaks it up with a last shot, connecting with the back of Ricochet's head. He pins Ricochet and picks up the 3. Adam Cole is going to take over to face Johnny Gargano in the main event. I'm going to give this match an A. It's just a testament to the depth of the NXT roster, the skill on show, the storytelling, just the ability of every single man to draw the spotlight to themselves in a situation where there are 4 other guys. It's amazing. All 5 of the men blew the roof off of Full Sail. I think Riddle got a really strong showing in particular. He looks super dangerous. And also, Cole has something to do now. It's really nice. He's going to go and hopefully maybe win the belt. And in terms of an overall grade for NXT this week, I'm gonna give it an A. For such a horrible situation and such a disappointing thing to give birth to an amazing 5-way match was one thing. Triple H obviously had an incredible promo. He is the guy that you need when it's those sort of situations. And everybody I guess is gonna be disappointed that we're not gonna see Ciampa Gargano, but I just think that Cole versus Gargano is going to be something special. It's a really hard match to call though. Who do you think's going to win? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Graded. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And no matter what you do, don't ever forget to hit subscribe and join us.